first of all, I just want to say, give my condolences um, to Bill Connors and Dimitri's families. So just to get that out of the way. But first of all, let's welcome a very amazing guest, Mr. Stephen Albright, to the show, and he'll be talking about his journey, his stroke journey as well. So let's all please welcome him. Good morning, Stephen.
Good morning.
How are you?
We're kicking along.
Yeah, well, good. Well, perhaps you can introduce yourself. Um, tell us who Stephen is.
Sorry. Well, I don't know. Sorry.
Oh, no, no. It is completely okay. I mean,
My head's spinning this morning for some reason. I don't know why. Just
ah,
happens sometimes.
no, it happens to me all the time. Salute is saying hello to you.
Well,
And
hello, Selena.
nice to see you. So, yeah, so what were you
Yeah, if
doing before?
I apologize if I'm looking down. I'm trying to read some of the comments as we go.
Oh, good. Okay, perfect. There you go. Yeah, I see Stephen is watching.
Well, as far as who am I? I was born and
Yeah,
raised. I was born and raised in Southwest Oklahoma, around Lawton and Rush Springs, the Fort Sill area, if that helps.
right. Well, that's good. So you had your stroke at what age?
53.
53. Okay.
Yeah, July 4th of 19. So I'm still a
Wow.
rookie.
You are. Wow, you're a newbie.
Yeah, I had one the morning of July 4th. And while in the hospital in ICU, I had one the next day on the 5th also.
Wow. Wow. Did you have any warning signs?
No, I mean, stupidly, I know, but I mean, I was a smoker since like 1983. So, and that's what the doctors are saying caused it. They're saying the nicotine causes arterial spasms, and that's what caused my strokes. Because at
Wow.
53, all of us have some buildup in our arteries and stuff. And the
Right.
spasms knocked something loose, and well, here I am.
Wow. So, wow. So it was a hemorrhagic stroke, a ischemic stroke.
Ischemic had two ischemic strokes. Yeah, and the
Wow.
second one hit the exact same spot the first one did.
Wow. Interesting. Very interesting. Um,
I mean, that's what's really weird. I mean, excuse me. There was only, I mean, I was actually kind of lucky through the whole thing because, I mean, I sat down on the couch. I came downstairs, sat down on the couch next to my wife, grabbed my phone, tried to check my messages, went to use my left hand to try and swipe through them,
right.
and my left hand wouldn't work. And then I
Wow.
stood up, and when I stood up, my left leg decided not to work anymore.
Wow.
And I know
Wow.
kind of the big joke around the house now is I find because my wife was asking me if I was okay, and I was trying to say I am fine,
Right.
but just wasn't coming out that way. I was just coming out as I find no
Wow.
and I could
It's
hear it. I
interesting.
mean, I could hear myself not saying it correctly, so I kept trying to correct myself, but I just wasn't working.
Right. Right. So really no
Excuse
warning
me.
signs. Did you have, were you sick? You felt any sickness or any of that?
And I'm sorry, I just missed that.
Oh, did you feel sick or did you have a headache? You know, a lot of people say they have a headache.
No, when it hit, I had an instant headache when it hit.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, she called the
Very,
squad and stuff because she used to be an EMT as well. And
okay.
we both recognized the symptoms, but I just refused to believe it was me. If it wasn't for her, I'd still be laying on the floor over there.
Right. It, that's interesting. So you really did you know what a stroke was prior to all this?
I knew what it was, but I never suspected I was going to have one.
Right. Right.
I
Interesting.
mean, I know the smoking aspect doesn't make any sense, but I was a runner beforehand. I've
Right.
done like four or five full marathons, one 50K, a relaxing day for me was going out and hitting a trail for about 4 or 5 hours and running 10, 15 miles
That's
because
interesting.
it was therapeutic for me mentally.
Right,
It gave me a chance to clear my head and relax.
right. Wow, that's incredible. I mean, but you smoked through all that.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting. Um, so I don't know if you see the comments. Well, that price is out there too. Thank you for being here, you guys. Um, but yeah, it's incredible what you went through as far as you both were EMTs.
Yeah.
Wow,
Well, it's really
wow,
weird because I mean, even being a medic, EMT, whatever, and even before that, I've worked in the hospital in a cardiac unit, and I was
right?
also a certified nurse's aide at a nursing home. And I had stroke patients, but I like the word aphasia and stuff like that. I had never heard those words before. I had no
Wow.
idea what it was. I mean, fortunately for me, the doc went in through my artery, and I mean, I call it a rotor-rooter. I don't know. I don't remember the actual term for the machine, but he went in,
Right.
found the clot, and pulled it out. And as soon as he got the clot, everything came back instantly.
On the first stroke?
Yeah, yeah. As soon as he pulled it out, so I had my speech was back, my leg, my arm, everything was working like it's supposed to. Because
Wow.
I was sitting there
Wow.
in the bed, I was sitting there on the gurney talking to him.
Wow. So how long from you had the stroke to when you got to the hospital?
Oh, it couldn't have been more, maybe about 45 minutes or so.
Wow, that's good. Time is of the essence. I know.
Yeah. Well, I went to the one hospital first, and they gave me the TPA, the
Right.
clot busting stuff, and that really didn't have much effect.
Wow. Interesting.
They sent me to a different hospital, and that's where the doctor went in after it. He went fishing. So
That's what you call it. Yeah. It's incredible. I mean,
I mean,
what you went
it's amazing though when you're going through all that, because when they stick a needle in your leg, it's a big needle, but I never felt any of it the whole time. I never felt any of that.
through. Wow. Really.
I mean, I will
Wow.
say though that that machine, when they're up inside your head and everything else, it doesn't feel. I mean, you can tell it's there. It didn't hurt, but you can tell it's there.
Yeah. You feel the pressure, I guess.
Yeah,
Wow. Well, so, but
it was a weird sensation I could have lived without, but if it hadn't been
yeah.
for that, there'd have been a lot more damage done.
Right. Right. But so basically you didn't really well you worked with stroke patients, but you never really knew what a stroke was in detail.
Yeah, I mean, my own well, I mean, not he wasn't blood related, but one of my grandfathers had had a stroke, and I know for the last probably 10 years of his life he was bedridden.
Wow.
But like I said, we weren't blood related. That was just by marriage.
Right. Right.
There was
Wow.
no history in the family of heart disease or stroke issues, nothing like that.
Absolutely incredible. um, but so how was your because obviously you had reading through all your bio, you had a great system, and you still do a support system.
Oh yeah, I could have asked for much more than that. I mean, my wife has been next to me since like moment one.
Right.
She was at the hospital every day. I've had
Yeah.
several good friends. I mean, I graduated in '85, by the skin of my butt, but I graduated in '85. And I had friends in high school that came into the hospital and visited me like at least once a week.
Wow.
I was there for what, 8 weeks, 2 months.
Right.
From the beginning of July till August 31st of 19.
Wow. That's incredible.
All of
And
August was on the rehab unit.
how was that as far as rehab? Did you have
Oh,
any
it was actually
interesting?
pretty good.
Yeah, you couldn't walk, couldn't talk, the norm, in, weak on one side.
Oh, definitely weak on one side. Excuse me.
Do you still do therapy as far as that?
Oh yeah, I still do therapy. I'm on once a week now for physical therapy.
Oh, good. Good to hear that.
Just recently, I mean, it's just been in the last few weeks that it's been comfortable enough for me to walk without my cane in therapy.
Right.
And of course, they have more solid, flat floors. I mean, it's harder to walk around the house than it is there because the carpet and the padding, kind of throws my balance off.
Yeah, I totally know
But
what
we're
you're
working
saying.
on it. You know, different day, more steps, move on.
Right. Now, if I remember, you actually made, I could be wrong, but which is typical of me. Did you walk? How far have you recently walked? You said you've actually done better than what you from when you started. You're walking more and more every day.
Well, without the cane, the first time I went through was about 15, 20 feet. And we need to measure it this next time. I got therapy, next week, and we need to measure it. So
Right, right. So you're going to therapy, not
yeah, I'm
was it
going once a
goal?
week now. It was twice a week up until a couple months. I mean, a couple weeks ago.
Right. Well, at least you're still going. This pandemic has really got to put a monkey wrench in all of us.
Yeah, it slowed some things down, but to me, it's more of an annoyance than anything else.
Oh yeah, exactly, exactly. So, how big is your family? You have kids and
Well, it's me and my wife, and I got two adult daughters living here, and my
right?
oldest daughter, she lives in a small town just a few minutes down the road.
Wow.
And then I've been a member of the same church for about 15 years now, and I got a huge church family. They've been really very helpful.
Wow. Good for
The
you.
first month I was home, a group of them made sure my wife didn't have to worry about cooking dinner.
Wow. That's so important. Good for you that you have that support system. I know a lot of people out there don't
Oh, I
have
know.
that. You've seen that, but
I've seen a lot of the stories and talked to a lot of people on Facebook and stuff like that, and I just couldn't imagine dealing with all that. And I know we all say, if you look around hard enough, you can find somebody who you think has it worse. And we're all out there. I mean, they're out there.
oh yeah, exactly. I mean, we have to, we support each other and emotionally. How's the emotion? I know for me, when you had your stroke, how's the emotional side of that for you?
Well, for me personally, I've run the gauntlet. I've sat in the corner and cried. I've shook my fist at God and said, "Why?" And I've gone through the whole gamut.
Right?
It's all just
But
part of the course, I guess.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So are you always home alone? Do you? Because I know your wife is
Well, I'm
in
not
the
always home alone, but I'm home alone quite a bit, like in the evening and stuff. But I'm not worried about that.
right, right.
I have fallen twice since I've been home, but it's been my own fault. So I just don't do those things anymore.
Was it tripping over carpets and things like that, or just not paying attention? Because I know with me, I've tripped over carpets, and it's not fun.
Now, the first time I went to the restroom and I didn't have my shoes on, so I looked at my socks and it's a wooden floor. And that didn't work out real well because I tried to stand up and my feet just slid out from underneath me and down I went.
Yeah, yeah,
And it wouldn't have been that bad, except that bathroom is a little bitty bathroom. I'm 6'6", and that bathroom is it's maybe a 5 by 6 foot. That doesn't include the cabinet and the toilet and everything else in there.
yeah.
So getting out of
Exactly.
there was interesting. One of my
Right,
daughters came home and found me, and I was just kind of I was just kind of wedged in there and stuck. And she went and woke up my wife, and my wife came down, leaned over the top of me, asked me what I was doing. I said, "I'm turtling. I was just laying there on my back, turtling." That's
right,
all.
right. Absolutely.
And so
That's
they got me. Well, they got me on my back and spun me around, and so they dragged me across the floor into the den area, and then I just kind of rolled across the carpet and got next to the couch and pulled myself up.
wow. Well, good you can do that.
And my
Good.
right side is working fine.
So it
So
affected your other side.
as long as I have handrails, I can do stairs up and down and all that kind of good stuff. I can pretty much do what I need to do. Just depends on how pissed off I get out about it. The
Now
more
you're
annoyed I
smoking.
am by it, the easier it is to do.
Yeah, yeah. So you don't wear an AFO or any kind of
Yeah, I have
uh,
2 different AFOs for my left foot because my ankle won't support me yet, and I have a
yeah.
splint on my left. I have a splint on my left hand. I
Oh,
can't
really?
really see it. I can't tell if I even got that in the picture or not.
Um, I
Oh well.
saw something black.
Yeah,
And what do you
that's all right.
what's the reason you do that for?
I'm sorry.
What is the reason you have the splint for it? To keep your arm straight?
Support my wrist.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I got several of the little toys, slings and all that kind of good stuff. Because
Right.
I did end up with a subluxation in my left shoulder.
Do you still have that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I do
So
too.
I got a couple different slings that hold it nice and tight when I try to walk.
Yeah. Was it from the from therapist that got that, or you just ordered it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because I know those. I had subluxation in my shoulder as well, and that's unless I lift up like that, then kind of goes away. But
Yeah.
or weight bear it,
Well, I can get movement out of my shoulder
right?
as far as up and down and forward and backwards. I can get a few inches every direction pretty much, but
Oh,
I just
good.
can't lift my arm. I don't have that controlled back yet.
Right, right. Yeah, the range of motion.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, it's. I mean, stroke is not for the weak. That's for sure.
No,
Yeah,
I wouldn't recommend it. I don't recommend it for anybody, actually. I mean,
yeah, exactly. I totally
I mean,
understand that.
in some ways, I'm thankful for the experience, but I could have lived without it, I think.
Right. Yeah. But so did you start? Did you stop? I mean, dumb question here. Did you stop smoking because of this?
Oh yeah. I mean, I've tried several times over the years, but it's surprisingly easy to stop when you're sitting in a hospital bed and there's nothing available.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've heard stories, stroke patients that I've interviewed that
I
they've
mean,
had.
it's not all perfect though, because I'll admit I still have cravings once in a while.
Yeah. And you just want to
I mean,
smell it.
there's a few times I've allowed myself to get in my own head for too long. And if I would have been able to, I probably would have rolled my butt over to the corner store and I probably would have bought a pack.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
I haven't
Wouldn't do
tried that yet, so that's a little too
it.
far away.
Yeah. Exactly. I agree. So you're really. I mean, sounds like you're doing really well compared to um, what you've done before, what you went through.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, you seem you're very positive. I can tell, and you really work hard. I'm glad you're going to therapy still.
Well, I mean, as hard as it is, the other options suck more.
Yeah, true. That's very true. Yeah, what options do you have? I mean, you do have some, but so prior to the stroke, you were an EMT working probably a lot of hours, working night,
Well,
day and night.
it's been a few years since I was an EMT because I had to let my certification drop because I'd injured my neck.
Right?
I've had 2 fusion surgeries in my neck. I had a C5 C6 fusion about 12 years ago, and then that fusion added extra pressure on the other vertebrae.
Right?
So about 8 years ago, I had another fusion done, and they went one more up and one more down.
Wow, interesting. Wow. So that had nothing to do with your stroke. It was just the smoking.
Yeah, no one said anything about that being part of it.
Wow. Interesting. Wow. So
Excuse me.
So what now do you do to keep yourself busy?
Well, I spend way too much time on Facebook. I know that, but
But
that and my movies.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, while I was in the hospital, I had a bunch of friends came over to help my wife out, and they basically moved my bedroom downstairs.
okay. So you currently have a two-story home,
Yeah.
but now you're downstairs,
So I'm in what I guess what would probably be considered the den.
right?
But I've got a bed down here, my TV, a bathroom. I mean, I got everything available to me that I need.
Right, right.
You know, the kitchen's over here to my left.
Wow. So, yeah, because so on your stairs, are you able to walk up? Because I know if there's not a railing on both sides of the stairs, I can't go. It has to be two on both sides. Otherwise, I can't walk up or down the stairs. Is
Oh yeah,
that
I got railings on both sides. So yeah,
okay?
I can go up and down. Down gets a
Okay.
little sketchy sometimes, but up is not a problem.
Yeah, I'm with you on that for sure. Definitely. Um,
Well, I'm sorry, I got to reposition my back.
oh, go ahead.
Oh, dang, sketchy. Ouch.
There you go. You're almost there.
Where is it?
You're
We're back. Okay, we're back now. All right.
there. You go. Wow. Well, so what else can you tell anybody that's going through what we're going through? I always love to ask. I mean, there's something, know your signs or listen to your body or,
Well, it's definitely listen to your body. I mean, my mental fatigue when it kicks in, I start yawning a lot,
right?
and when that happens, I have to get ready to take a nap because my brain just what's left of it just shuts off.
Right.
I've fallen asleep in the middle of a conversation before.
It's funny. I know how that is. I mean, you could be like being wide awake and all of a sudden hit you. I've got
Yeah,
to go
you're
lay
done.
down, right?
Yeah, no matter what it is, no matter what you're doing, you're just done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So how often is it? Oh, I was going to ask you, what kind of, are you taking seizure medicine or any other meds?
No, I've done all the seizure testing and everything else, and none of that. The only meds is basically Tylenol, my statin, and baclofen for muscle spasms.
Yeah. How is that with your spasticity or your tone?
Well, for the spasticity, which I've
Yeah.
considered a couple different things. I mean, some people have suggested the Botox for the spasticity in my leg, but my therapist, my PT, my physical therapist, and my doctor both are saying they don't recommend it at this point because they're saying my body is my brain. What I'm doing now has kind of worked in that spasticity as part of my balance. And if I
Right.
do the Botox and it goes away, I might have to basically start over as far as learning how to walk again.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. I
So
know
for
that
now, I'm going to leave it alone.
yeah, who knows in time because in my first, uh, a couple days ago, I just passed 10 years of stroke, post
Yep.
stroke. And I, it was probably 2 years into my stroke, right? I ended up doing Botox, but then you got to work. For me, the therapist always said you got to work really hard for the next 3 months because it wears off in time. But the
Yeah.
spasticity, it made me real wobbly when I first had the shots, but after that, it wears off, and for me, every 3 months insurance, that's when they'll pay. Nothing sooner.
Well, I figure what I got going on right now isn't great, but it's working. So I'll just stick with it.
Oh yeah, what works for you, and it works for you, then why change it?
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
Right, right, exactly. So, so what else is So you're obviously no more EMT, and that was prior to the stroke.
Well, prior to the stroke, I mean, like I said, I was a pharmacy tech
Okay,
supervisor. This past June would have been 16 years, but since My strokes happened in July. I was 15 years doing that. I mean, the last few
Wow.
years I was lucky because I only had to supervise myself,
Oh,
and that was, that's a pain in the butt all by itself because I tend to not listen
yeah. You were stubborn, stubborn.
a little bit.
Yeah. Wow. So you know statins and you know all the meds since you're in the pharmacy tech.
Well, I know a lot of them. I know a lot of them are. But I tell you what, even for as long as I was doing that, watching TV and the commercials tell me more about what most of the drugs are for than what I ever learned at work.
Really?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of drugs I was, using at work or dispensing at work because it was all nursing home and long-term care patients for the company I worked with.
Wow.
But
That's
I could watch a commercial about this drug or that drug and actually find out what it's for.
wow. Very interesting because I always, if like my neurologist and all that, I feel I'm getting more knowledge, more information from my pharmacist.
Oh yeah. Well, when it comes to the meds, I would talk to a pharmacist before I'd ever talk to most doctors.
Really, that's what I do all the time because the interactions with some meds to another.
Absolutely.
'Cause the doctors always gave, I'll prescribe this. So I always ask my pharmacist. He says you shouldn't be taking this with that. So that's
Yeah.
what I pay attention to. But it sounds like you know that. So
Well, a lot of the doctors, I mean, not all of them by any means, but a bunch of them, they have the pharmaceutical rep comes in and says, "Hey, I got this new pill and this is what it's for and it works great." And so they start passing it out.
right, and that's how it starts, I guess, because I know that I've seen it.
I see patient profiles all the time at work where I know, I've discussed it with pharmacists before where we've looked at the profiles like, why are they on all of this? They have this and I know this is for this and this is for that, but why do they have five for the same damn thing? And
Right,
then
right,
the pharmacist ended up calling the doctor and getting an order changed.
really. So the pharmacist,
We've had those kind of conversations before.
wow. So the pharmacist has kind of they would call the doctor
Oh yeah,
back.
well at least any pharmacist can call the doctor. I mean, a lot of the doctors don't like being questioned, but the pharmacist can call and be like, "Are you sure this is what you want? If the dose is too high or higher than recommended and stuff like
Right.
that." Yeah, they have that option to do that.
Yeah.
And I think in some states they're actually, they can be held liable themselves if they don't. If they see something like that and they know it's a bad dose and they let it go
Right.
through, I think they can be held liable just like the doctor for allowing it and for dispensing it.
Right. Right.
Now, it just depends on the state and the counties and stuff like that, what have you, I guess.
Right. Right. Very interesting. So, um,
Sorry.
oh no, no. So I think we talked about this. The warning signs. You had no warning signs before your stroke.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that might have been a warning sign maybe is when I first woke up, I had a few seconds where I just felt a little kind of off, maybe like a little confused or something, a little
Right.
disoriented. That was it. Other than that, it was just all of a sudden, boom, bang, it hit, and
Right.
here we go.
Yeah. Let's get on this roller coaster here.
It's like I was never a person to have migraines or anything,
Right.
but when that thing hit, when it settled in, that's something I can imagine it would feel like.
Right. Right.
I mean, I know the second hospital, the one doctor, I had him laughing a couple times because I use analogies for everything because he was asking me about the pain. And I was like, okay, well, like you think about it, like at horror movies. I've always been a horror movie buff. I love them.
Right.
And I said, everyone that's in a hospital, somebody ends up getting stabbed with a needle and that's how they die. I was like, that's how I imagine this feels.
Right,
Because,
right.
I mean, my stroke was way back here in the back, but the pain was all here.
Yeah, yeah. So you did have some pain during your stroke.
I mean, I've got a top denture, and I was having toothaches in teeth I haven't had for 10 years.
Really?
I mean, that's just kind of the way it came across. But like I said, it was
Yeah.
all, most of my pain was right in here,
Wow. Interesting.
right behind my right eye.
Yeah. Wow.
But yet the strokes were actually straight back down the middle and towards, all the way in the back, slightly on the right.
Right, right. Wow. Well, I mean, just looking at you, you look terrific. I mean, some people always ask, "Oh, it doesn't look like you had a stroke." What are we supposed to look like?
Yeah. And I don't have, my wife said I had a little bit of droop for that first couple hours, but after
Oh,
that, it went away. Like I said,
right.
once he pulled the clot out, everything came back the way it was supposed to be.
Wow. Yeah, that's remarkable.
That doctor kept telling my wife he doesn't see any reason why I won't get everything back 100% again eventually.
Wow. Good for
I
you.
mean, we'll see. Well, time will tell on that one.
Sure. That's for sure. Wow. Well, that's interesting. Um, but because I mean, like you said, there's so many people that have it work better, different, or worse.
Yeah.
Uh, but everybody needs to support each other.
Well, I typically try to stay away from the whole worse or bigger or better or whatever, because I just think that creates an environment of competition that doesn't need to even be there under our circumstances.
Exactly, exactly. That's why
You know,
that we're part of. We just all support each other, no matter what you've
yeah.
been through or what I've
I
been
mean,
through.
just depending on your own life experiences and the way you think about things, you can always find somebody that has it worse than you, and somebody eventually has it worse than everybody else.
Right,
But just because you might be able to see somebody and go, they have it worse than I do, it doesn't mean you're not having a hard time. It doesn't mean you're not going through something.
right. So true. I mean, I always believe you treat people how you want to be treated. But yeah, so I think it's pretty amazing that you're sharing your journey with us, and I appreciate that very much.
Oh, no problem.
So, but yeah, I know that. But what other kind of last words that you would like to say out there, or something that we haven't covered?
So we haven't covered. Oh, I don't know.
But yeah, anything that you can share with somebody that they're going through a hard time, and you know, how could you encourage them?
Well, I tell people all the time, you just got to keep pushing forward. I mean, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and the light gets brighter as you get further down the tunnel.
Right. Exactly.
And
Completely agree.
or the door at the end of the tunnel gets smaller as you get closer to it.
Right. Right. So true. That's exactly right.
And there are a few words that are not allowed in this house. Plateau and impossible is not allowed.
Yeah.
Impossible is not an option. It's yet, you know,
Yeah.
or
Exactly.
not a big fan of can't either. I don't like saying I can't do that anymore. I just can't do it yet, or I can't do it today, maybe.
Yeah. Glad you're saying that, because I always say about the take the tea out of can.
Yeah. Yet and right now are used a lot around here.
Really.
I'm not able to do that right now, or I'm not able to do that yet.
Yes. So true. I'm with you on that one. It's very bright in here. But yeah, so you were. I mean, I've been told a year after my stroke that I plateaued. and I proved them wrong because I did not like to hear that word.
Yeah. You only stop getting better, or you only stop improving when you stop.
Right? So true. Very true. Glad to hear that. Yeah, you guys, I see a lot of people out there, but make some comments if you're out there, and because a ton of people are watching, I can see, but no comments right there. But a lot of
Yeah, I'm
people
seeing
watching.
a few. Yeah, I'm flipping through and looking at some of them.
Yeah, yeah. Because if you can inspire one person, then it was well worth it. At least that's how
Yeah,
I feel.
absolutely.
Yeah, because I post my videos and I'm doing it two things. I'm trying to see if how bad or how good I'm walking or doing whatever I'm doing. But then if I can inspire somebody else, then I've accomplished my goal. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
good morning, Yvonne. I see you out there, Yvonne. I don't know if you see on your iPad, don't you, the comments?
Yeah. See if you. I see Yvonne saying hi, Yvonne. Patricia,
Yeah,
Saloon, Lynette.
that's right. And I see Kim watching and Robert Sedgwick. Um, um, so, but yeah, Yvonne's from Athens, Greece.
Yeah, I'm just trying to hold the phone so we can talk, and then trying to swipe. That doesn't work out real well.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. But
No, I mean, this has a lot of hassles and headaches, but it is what it is.
yeah, oh, the
I
phone and
think
I, yeah, it
I mean,
definitely
there's
is.
a
I
lot of
mean,
frustrating parts of all this, but I think for me, the biggest thing that's been a frustration is I'm hyper emotional now. 1 second I'm sitting here just hanging out, relaxing, but I can listen to a song or see something on TV or whatever, and the next thing you know, I'm bawling my eyes out, and I can't control it. And that pisses me off, to be honest.
yeah, no, I know that. Watching The Voice the other night. Oh my gosh, seeing some of the stories. It's like you said. I mean, ball of my eyes out. PBA, the emotional part of this is tough. You know,
Oh, yeah.
everybody knows in my family. I cry at the drop of a hat or a pin.
Oh yeah.
Whatever.
Well, it's whether it's crying or whether it's anger. It's like 0 to 60 right now. There's no delay. There's no
Right.
chance to even think about it. It just happens, hits, and here we go.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I always say, stroke is not for the weak. Um, but I, hey, Mike Peters from South Wales. Nice to see you, Mike. Sorry, Mike. No, no one. Don't worry about
Yeah, I
that at
see him right
all.
there. Okay.
Yeah, and Patricia.
Yeah, I see her. I see Patricia and Yvonne in there.
Yeah, Patricia says, I know my eyesight. Thank you. We're listening. Definitely appreciate you sharing this information as well as your story. My daughter takes Botox injections, and now I'm wondering about those. Everything you both said is something she's experiencing, especially the 3 month mark. Yeah, that's the thing with the 3 months. At least my
Yeah.
insurance. I don't know. I've heard that so many times. Insurance only pays every 3 months. Oh, you can't have Botox, but every 3 months. It helped me, but it's not for
I don't know.
everybody. Like you said, my whole right side, affected side, I get it. My arms, my elbows, my shoulder, my legs, and but
Well,
then you
I'm thinking I might go ahead and do it for my left arm, but not my left knee.
right. Yeah, I did it for my ankle, and I had to wear the AFO because it made me so wobbly. But my therapist said you need to we need to work real hard once you get the Botox because it kicks in about a week, and you really need to work hard. And I know that, but I haven't
Yeah.
had it in about a year or so. But I think I need it again. But me going to the doctor, not a big fan. But yeah, so yeah, thanks for listening, Patricia. I appreciate that.
Hmm.
Yes, I'm looking here. Yeah, I read the comments. So yeah,
Yeah,
Patricia,
I see it.
every night for insurance. That's right. That's exactly right, Patricia. The Botox.
I'll probably
I
call
mean,
mine here in a little bit and ask them what they cover, what they don't on that.
yeah, it makes a difference. But then you got to get your a referral, and for me, and then my doctor says, "Well, I don't suggest it." So,
Well, I see my preferred on the 29th. So
oh, good. Yeah, it's worth just checking out and see what they think about it. Is it a primary care physician or is it the
yeah,
neurologist?
primary. Now the last
Okay,
neurologist I had, I wasn't real happy with. Me and her were arguing, so I'm switching.
really? Wow.
Well, I mean, I probably described it wrong, but I was trying to talk to her about a potential treatment.
Right?
And I mean, I tried to explain to her I'm not a patient. I'm not a Dr. Google patient because there's a lot of bad information out there. There's a lot of good
Yeah.
information too, but you got to be careful what you're reading and what you're seeing.
Oh, yeah.
But I wanted to
Sure.
ask the neurologist about a potential treatment that on YouTube, there's a
Right?
bunch of videos of this stuff working. And her
Yeah.
response was, I've never heard of it. I don't believe it. It doesn't work. And I was like, what do you mean? If you've never heard of it, how do you know it doesn't work? Least you could do
Yeah.
is look into it for me. That's
Right.
all I'm asking. I mean, I didn't expect her to jump up and say, let's try it. But least you could do is look into it.
Right. Right. I see it with Yvonne. Yeah. Our boundaries have been destroyed. We all have the emotional age of the years since our stroke. So I am about 8 years emotionally. Yeah. I
Well,
know
my
the
wife
feeling.
says I'm 53, almost 54, but my wife says I'm about 12, which
Yeah.
I'll go with. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Why not?
Of
So
course, she
you,
doesn't realize all the stupid things I did when I was 12, though.
well,
I mean, me and a friend of mine, we caught a cottonmouth in the creek and took it back to his house. And his parents had two storm cellars, and one of them was flooded. So we let that dang thing loose in that flooded one, and we were down there with our feet in 5-gallon white buckets, walking around in the
right.
water and grabbing it by the tail and letting it loose, and grabbing it by the tail and letting it loose. I mean, it was stupid. I know it,
Yeah.
but it was fun at the time.
Right. Fine. Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. So I was 49. Now I'm 59. And you were 53. I mean,
Three,
you last year.
53.
Yeah. 53. I was 53 once.
Yeah,
But
well,
it, it got to a point where if I go to the store, and I always wear my FO just for safety reasons for me. Somebody always
well,
asks, oh, did you hurt yourself? And I used to go right into, well, I had a stroke. Now, wow, when I go to the store, did you hurt yourself? No, I just hurt my leg. I don't want to have to go into the whole, long story.
yeah.
Yeah. Hello, Paul Cummings says hello to you and I.
Hey, Paul.
That's right. Good morning coffee, Paul. It was a good show this morning. Um, but okay, so
Dang, I just realized how bad I look. Dang, got a face for radio today.
oh, wait a minute. Didn't you say you
I
were
need to
working?
shave badly.
Hey, yeah, I know. It's I know. I shaved yesterday, so that's been one thing. But yeah, for Paul, I'm tied up today, but wish you the best in your recovery.
Yep.
No worries, Paul. Always good to see everybody out there. So, but yeah, so we're kind of close to the end here. Any other last lovely words or something you can tell as we talk a bit ago? Because you've got a great attitude as far as you know. there's words in your house that you don't say. No plateau.
No plateaus, no can't, no impossible.
Yes, I think it's great. But so
You just
I
have to
know,
find your own way. I mean,
yeah, exactly, exactly.
there's been
So
several things, since all this happened, there's been several things I've come across that I just love the way they sound. Like, you're not always going to have a good day, but you can always face a bad day with a good attitude.
I love it. Yeah, it's a great. I love that. Very good.
And you just got to
Very
push through it. You got to push through the fog to get to the clear skies on the other side.
right, right. You need to write a book. You do.
No, I ain't writing nothing.
Yeah. So did it affect your dominant side?
I'm sorry.
Did your stroke affect your dominant side?
Oh yeah, I was left-handed, so now I'm trying to reteach myself how to write right-handed.
Yeah.
And it's not too horrible. I just get stuck on certain letters, like I mean, I try because I'm trying to write in cursive and everything, and
Right.
like lowercase f, just complete brain block. I could not remember how to write one for nothing. The
Right. Right.
first couple times I came across it.
Yeah. I'm with you on that.
But I can sign
My
my own name. I can sign my name and stuff. And bad part, I mean, good or bad, my handwriting beforehand was kind of chicken scratch, anyways. So it doesn't really look that much different.
right. Right. Nothing's changed there.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Well, my
Well,
speech therapist said my brain is kind of locked in on the different way my letters are supposed to angle. So even
right.
right-handed, I still angle them the same way and everything.
Wow. Interesting.
The hardest time I have is with numbers. I mean, I can read them fine, it seems like, but if I write
Right.
down numbers of some kind and try to reread them later, I can't read most of them.
Wow.
I don't
Yeah.
understand. It doesn't make any sense, but it is what it is.
What are you gonna do, right? I mean, you work on it, but
Yeah, just gonna keep messing with it and write some more and go
yeah.
back to them later and see what happens.
Right. Right. Well, that's incredible, Stephen. I appreciate you being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
It's actually my very big pleasure to have you on. So, but anyway, I appreciate it again. And if there's any other last parting words, I'll leave it to you.
Okay, well, I'll give you a holler.
Yeah, you guys take care. Thanks for showing up, you guys. And I know a lot of people end up watching the replay. And
That's all right.
yeah, yeah.
Replay or
Well,
live, either way.
yeah, exactly. Well, you have a great rest of your day, Stephen, and everybody else out there. Thank you.
That's the plan. Take care, Jerry.
All right, you too. Always
All right.
good seeing you.